Everyone dove into the cabin as rainstorm crashed in unexpectedly, the yacht shaking wildly like a bumper car, and soon a massive wave flipped the yacht. Everyone was instantly submerged like soggy biscuits. Luckily, the storm was as brief as a bad joke, and once things calmed down, everyone popped up like dolphins trying to escape, scrambling to the yacht's back for safety. Carissa couldn't find Sid, shouting with no reply. Looks like Sid's at a secret underwater party. As everyone sat there clueless and panicking, Jesse spotted a cruise ship in the distance, like a lifeline thrown into chaos. Soon everyone was as excited as if they won the lottery, yelling for help, and indeed, someone on the ship noticed them. As the cruise approached, everyone jumped aboard, but Jessie felt something was off, though she couldn't put her finger on it. Still, she jumped enough to Greg's push. On deck, everyone was relieved to be alive, except Jessie staring blankly, thinking, "Hope this isn't some weird dream." Victor called out for ages, finding no one, so they decided to seek crew inside for help. Issa lamented that her bestie might really not come back, and just as they passed by, it seemed like someone was peeping at them like a nosy kid. Oddly enough, no matter how much Victor shouted, there was no response inside. They clearly saw people on the little yacht. Gazing at the empty corridor, everyone was confused, but Jessie had a look as if she just solved a mystery. She told Greg that she felt like she'd been here before, and meanwhile, others stumbled upon the cruise ship's info, discovering it was named Elros. And Elros was the wind god in Greek mythology, nothing too crazy, until they mentioned his son Sisyphus, who was punished for tricking death. His punishment was to push a boulder up a hill, but every time he reached the top, it rolled back down, leaving him stuck in an eternal workout. Talk about a vacation. After discussing, everyone got ready to move on, but suddenly there was a loud crash behind them. Greg and the others hurried to check, but Victor just found a keychain on the ground. No sign of anyone. When Jessie grabbed the keys, she suddenly realized something, but no one believed her, so she pulled out a picture of her son. Lisa was convinced Sid stole the keys. She might still be alive. But Sonny chimed in, if it were her, she'd have shown up, not hiding. After fruitless arguing, everyone met in the lobby, only to find the wind god's food laid out in front of them. Oddly, no sign of life anywhere. Victor asked the time, and Greg said it was past 11, but Jessie looked up and saw the clock showing 8:17, identical to the one on the wall. Then Greg said they needed to find the captain in Cambridge to get home. But just then, Jessie spotted a figure flash by and rushed to tell everyone. Victor quickly chased after, but as soon as he went outside, the figure was gone, leaving Jessie and Greg to search for the captain together. The remaining two kept vigil in the lobby, but Jessie and Greg hadn't gone far when they heard some noise from a room nearby. They reached room 237 and knocked on the door. There was no response, and when they went in, the room was empty except for some bloody writing in the bathroom. It said to go to the theatre, but Greg still wanted to find the captain. He thought it was just a prank. This caused a rift between him and Jessie, who thought the clue was a serious warning, so they parted ways. Jessie wanted to find others to head to the theatre, but when she got to the lobby, she found Victor lying on the ground. He was drenched in blood, and just as she was panicking, a gunshot rang out from behind, and Jessie hurried to follow the sound. This was indeed the ship's theatre, but alas, Jessie found Lisa and Donnie laying on the floor, sobbing like they missed their favourite show. Jessie rushed over to check, only to find Greg lying covered in blood. Lisa saw Jessie and dashed over, accusing her of killing Greg. Jessie, dumbfounded, denied it, but Lisa was convinced. Turning to stepdad Donnie about him, Jessie asked, and Donnie said, Jessie told them she never sent them to the theatre, but Lisa kept cursing at her for lying. Suddenly, Jessie was knocked to the ground, and a masked figure appeared, shooting wildly. Soon, Lisa and Donnie were both down, and Jessie seized the chance to escape, making a dash for the deck. Suddenly, footsteps echoed above, and Jessie thought the danger was ahead. Instead, the masked figure struck from behind. The masked figure brandished the gun, ready to handle Jessie, and she desperately begged for mercy. But the assailant was clearly unfazed and was about to pull the trigger. Jessie grabbed the gun barrel, and the bullet missed her completely, giving her a chance to flee. The masked figure chased her relentlessly until the gun clicked empty, even throwing the weapon in frustration. What kind of beef did they have? Jessie fell on the deck, but got back up and this time found an axe for self-defense. When the masked figure caught up, they started exchanging blows, but Jessie with the axe quickly overpowered the attacker. Cornered at the edge of the ship, the masked figure suddenly spouted some weird stuff, claiming it was the only way home, leaving Jessie puzzled. The masked figure said the only way to leave was to kill them, which angered Jessie. Her friends were gone because of this person, and she was ready to end it. But as the masked figure tried to escape, they fell. After everything calmed down, Jessie stood there in a daze, drowning in sorrow, When sudden music echoed in, she walked inside to find the record player mysteriously blasting tunes, and as she listened to the mellow music, Jessie was left bewildered. Suddenly, shouts rang out from outside. Jessie cautiously walked over to see what was up, only to be horrified that the previous drummer was starting all over again. Once she calmed down and returned to the deck, she found the same people climbing up again, and since Jess's perspective was about to repeat, continue with her story from the start. I'll express the other Jesses with numbers since Jess's point of view keeps looping. I'll express other Jesses with numbers because Jess's perspective keeps on recycling. I'll express other Jesses with numbers as her perspective keeps being replayed.